Yo, Hendo here with Average Use Slowpitch. Today we're getting a chance to bring out the brand new Juno BP bat. If you're not familiar with this one, Juno has dropped I believe it's like $139.99, something like that, right around that price tag. But BP bat on their MR-1 platform. So 12.5-inch barrel. They're all currently UTH 38 handles, so it's a little bit obviously stiffer than the UTH 33, which is their flex handle. Not quite as stiff as the UTH 43. But either way, you can still pick your specs. For this one, I went with a 27-ounce 0.75 end load. I just wanted a heavier BP bat that would let me kind of work on really getting my hands through, keeping the barrel head up, things like that. With these as well, the one big difference is going to be they did shrink the sweet spot on it with obviously the intention to make you be more deliberate with your BP. So either way, not that it matters. We're going to throw it on the tester real quick just to see where it starts at. I know a lot of their game ready models, right? The MR-1, 3, pretty much all their bats started right around that 250, 260 mark. This should be closer between that 270 to 300 mark, just kind of depending either way. Then we'll throw just a few 52s on it, see how it feels. Handful of Pro M's, more so just to test how that sweet spot truly feels, and then how I kind of compare it in feel to like the MR-1 that we swung. We swung the red model, the UTH 43, so that you kind of have an idea of how this is going to work out for you and how it compares in order to kind of get your bat, or in order to be ready for the games without having to use your gamers, whether it's that MR-1, MR-3, whatever it might be. But let's go ahead and see how this thing performs. We'll come back with final compression, final thoughts. All right, not that it really matters since it's a BP bat, but just to see kind of where that starting compression is at least for us on the Juno BP bat, we're going to throw it on here. And that'll give you an idea of roughly kind of what kind of performance you're seeing when you first swing this thing out at BP. And we're looking at basically right at like 275. It really just kind of depends. Obviously with us being at elevation, we see at times about a 10 PSI difference. So it is what it is there. Either way, this thing has a smaller sweet spot as we talked about in the intro. So something just to keep in mind, meant to really kind of dial in your BP and give you a way not to destroy your gamers at that point. Yeah, so right out 275. So we're gonna go ahead, we'll throw a couple 52s on it and then a couple Pro M's, but nothing crazy. Doesn't need to be a long review. Obviously this is by no means a game type bat. It even says for practice only on the handle there, but we'll go ahead and just at least see how it feels, how that smaller sweet spot feels, and report back. All right, let's see what our Juno BP bat's all about. Like we said, we're gonna start with 52s real quick, just to see how it feels in comparison to what we had with like the MR-1, since this is an MR-1 barrel at the 12.5, and then we'll swap over a few Pro M's, just more so for feedback so you can get an idea of, is this something you wanna grab or not? I'm real excited about it, because I do have an MR-1 I plan on gaming quite a bit, and so I don't wanna obviously bring it out here and have to BP it, but I do like to BP the bats I'm gonna game, so this is gonna be, for me, I think honestly, a game changer.
92 miles per hour.
Huh, all right.
97 miles per hour.
We'll say good feedback off the barrel, even with the 52s. First thing I noticed is even though it's UTH 38, it doesn't feel overly flexy to me like the UTH 33 does. Obviously not quite as stiff as the 43, but I think it's definitely a good middle ground so that regardless of which model you use, you can go ahead and use this guy.
85 miles per hour.
Okay.
Nice swing.
95 miles per hour.
Yeah, even with the 52s, you can tell when you catch what I believe is that sweet spot, and when you miss, you do get a little bit of feedback on the hands, which I've got to guess was the whole point in making that sweet spot smaller, to really force you to pay attention to your swing and make sure you're catching that ball correctly.
87 miles per hour.
Nice piece.
Yeah, see, you know, you find the sweet spot and you definitely feel it. I'm also curious to see how the sound will change, you know, as you start putting swings on it. Because right now it has a pretty good sound, but it's different than what you're seeing from them. Not that it's bad, but be curious to see how the sound changes after you put a couple swings on it.
Yep.
90 miles per hour.
That ball was crushed. Yeah, so with the 52s, like I said, good feedback. We're gonna swap over to Pro M's. Even with them, you can tell you need to make sure you're really paying attention to your swing, aiming for that sweet spot, but good feedback. Obviously not quite the performance numbers we saw with the gamers, but again, it's not a game bat, it's a practice bat. It says it right here. It's only here on the barrel, but let's see how those Pro M's perform, and then we'll come back with kind of final thoughts, see what Junior thinks about it as well.
90 miles per hour.
It's a little high, the sweet spot, you can tell, but it's carrying good.
85 miles per hour.
Let's launch.
And, you know, even for this 12.5-inch barrel, like it's so easy to find the sweet spot even still, you know.
98 miles per hour.
Yep, there's the sweet spot. So that was the first one I think I caught the sweet spot just right at the Pro-Ms. Pretty much no feedback in the hands, other than you can feel kind of that soft feel in the hands, that is, not the barrel, of the ball coming off right, which is exactly what you want. Same thing, even now, not too much flex on this, so I'd have no issues swinging this one and then going out and gaming my UTH 43 handle, MR-1, or whatever it is I might be using.
87 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Woo! Juno.
94 miles per hour.
And that one was definitely just low of the sweet spot. You know you miss because you get a little bit of that sting on the hands that if you haven't swung Juno, but if you swung some of those stiffer handle bats, with the stiffer ones, you definitely feel a little bit of that more on your hands, plus a little cold. So that's what I want to see there to let me know I didn't catch the ball right.
80 miles per hour.
And you're really not far off of your game bat speeds.
100 miles per hour.
And then there's every bit of the sweet spot. So yeah, 100% what you want there as far as that goes. Not really much more to say as far as this is, in my idea, or my mind, a great option for BP.
86 miles per hour.
Yeah. Look at that.
Laser beam.
Now, guys, look no further, man. I mean, this is a great option right here, you know, because a lot of guys, they want to be able to game a bat and BP with that same bat, and it's going to be problems for sure. But with this right here, you know, they feel identical to your gamer. I mean, why even look any further? It's a good option right here.
106 miles per hour.
Oh yeah, there it is, we're done. Again, just real quick to the point, just want to kind of show the performance, what you get from having a BP bat. We'll go ahead, we're gonna pick some of these balls up before it gets too dark, and then we'll come back, talk about a little bit more in the final thoughts. All right, as we mentioned, back with the Juno BP bat, 12.5-inch barrel, UTH 38 handle. You can still pick the specs on it, what weight you want, end loads, all that kind of stuff. As you kind of saw with it, we kept it pretty short and quick with some 52s, with some Pro-Ms. But for me, this is going to be something that I'm going to use regardless of what I'm gaming, but especially with the plan to kind of go with an MR-1 here at the next couple tournaments at least. Make sure I'm really liking that. But you get almost an identical feel. I know the handle's slightly different than like if you're UTH 43 swing like I am, but really I couldn't tell about any of the flex in the handle anyways. So no issues there for me. I love that the sweet spot, the sweet spot's definitely smaller. But then as you miss slightly high, slightly low, the further and further you get away from the sweet spot, you know each time, so you know exactly kind of what you're looking for. And Junior mentioned that quite a bit as well. And what I really like about this is something I'm going to bring with me to tournaments as well. And if we're hitting BP before a game, in the cage, whatever it might be, I'm going to actually probably BP this one, because now if I'm finding the sweet spot on this, now I get that extra forgiveness in the game to where now if I slightly miss that sweet spot, I've got a much larger one on my gamer. And so I think Juno, great idea here coming out with that kind of BP game model one that gives you the performance. As you saw with Junior swings, my swings, yeah, maybe the speeds aren't quite there. I mean, we did hit, I think, 106 top speed though. Yeah. So, I mean, you can get the speeds, but you've got to find that no-kidding sweet spot. I know Junior really liked it. I'll let him kind of wrap it up with anything he's got to kind of say. And then, again, if you want to grab one of these, head over to junoathletics.com. Code ADS should work on these. I think the sale's over, so it'll work on pretty much everything for you. But if you decide you want to grab one of these along with one of the new MR1s, 3s, whatever, that'll be dropping here soon, again, just remember that code ADS will help you out there on some of the pricing and shipping there.
Yeah, again, guys, I mean, not to, you know, repeat what Hendo says. I think I'm on the same page with him as well. When it comes to this bat, it's easy on the hands. It does all the work for you. And again, you know, if you want to swing something, you know, winter, or you go to a tournament, hey, let's take a couple swings. You pull this out of your bag, you take as much swings, and then you pick up your MR1, your MR3, and it's going to feel almost exactly the same, you know, depending on what specs you pick up. But again, I didn't seem to feel a big difference. Again, this is a very good option for you guys that, you know, like to take BP. This is definitely where you wanna go.
Yeah, and very last piece, as he mentioned it, winter as well, right? So obviously for us here, it's about 53 degrees right now. I wouldn't bring my game. I mean, it's not super cold. We left everything inside, all the bats, balls. So I mean, I would bring a game out here if I really need to break it in. But what's nice about this one is at that 100, and again, I think it's $139.99 price tag. if I'm BPing this all year and then I get to the winter and I still want to use it and it breaks, I'm not honestly that disappointed because I can basically get 2 of these for the price of a gamer and they're going to last you for a long, long time. I honestly can't tell you. On one hand, I can count the number of Junos I've seen break anyways, and so I have no doubt that they're going to make sure these last just like the gamers do. So you're going to be able to BP this thing for a long, long time. And again, if you have something that you can swing that's as close to just as good as like your MR-1s or whatever gamer it is you're swinging, that's going to be great, especially in the winter months. So just keep that in mind. Again, JunoAthletics.com if you want to grab one. Thanks for checking it out. Hopefully this was helpful. Have a great night.
Thanks, guys.